We're going to bring on our next speaker, and then we're going to come back to Dr. Denise. And our next speaker is someone who, when I was reading his bio, when I was learning a little bit about him, I was like, you know what? I cannot wait to hear this gentleman speak. He is a serial entrepreneur who believes in helping others unlock their best selves. And I mean, after all, isn't that what we all want? He hails from beautiful, hey, I can hear you, Michael. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, buddy. Can you hear me okay?
Brother. So he hails from beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And over the last 5 years, he has gone from trapped business owner to freed entrepreneur. And my man, I got to tell you, I love that distinction because so often people like us and so many people who are listening around the world are like, I want to be an entrepreneur. And they become an entrepreneur and they become a slave to their business. And it's like, wait, that's not what I signed up for, right?
I wanted freedom. What's going on?
This isn't freedom. Why am I? So he attributes Michael attributes his achievements over the last 5 years to one fundamental belief, and that is that we are the sculptor and the clay in our lives. And today he's going to be revealing how you can take this simple belief and use it to reforge your future. And with that, Michael, you ready to rock and roll, brother?
I'm here for you, my man. I'm here for you.
The platform is yours. Welcome.
Thank you, Devon. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute pleasure to be with you here today. I'm thrilled and I'm super duper excited. Before we dive in, though, on how you can change some things and change some thoughts in your life and some practices that can reforge your future, let's give a massive shout out to Devon. Isn't he doing a fabulous job of hosting this thing? So, Devon, well done, my friend. We don't know each other yet, but I think we will. You are a fantastic person. And John Tellerico, let me just say a massive shout out to you, my friend. You are a brilliant man. And in just the few short months that we've known each other, that we've worked together, you are changing the trajectory of my life. So massive thank you to you. And before I stride forward, I want to thank, of course, the legend himself, Mr. Les Brown. Les, you don't know this, but it was only a few short years ago that I was in a really tough place in my life. I was struggling and I was in some dark places in my life, and it was your words so often that pulled me through there. And I believe that a lot of the people that are watching us today probably feel the exact same way. So thank you, Mr. Brown, for just being the best version possible of you. I absolutely love you for that. But I also want to say thank you to Winnie. Winnie, you are freaking awesome. Like a lot of people, and they're like, who's Winnie? Who is this person? You guys, Winnie is the person who is behind the stage right now. She's back there. She's crossed all the T's. She's dotting all the I's. She is one of those people that's putting all these pieces together on the fly, making things happen. So none of these things would be possible without amazing people like you, Winnie. So I just want to say thank you so much. You are fantastic, and I love you. So if you're watching this right now, let's give Winnie a little bit of love in the chat box, you guys. She's absolutely earned it. Just give her some hearts and give her some love. Now, today I'm going to share with you some things that I've learned, some things that I've done, some things that have been handed down to me, and some things that I've discovered on my own quest in reforging my future. And we're going to talk about how you can do that, what will allow us to do that, what will give us permission to do just that. But before we dive in, I'd like to know a little bit about you. All right, so who's up for a little bit of fun with me? Type BAMO, B-A-M-M-O, in the chat box if you're up for a little bit of fun with me, okay? So if you're up for that, type BAMO in the chat box. Now, I'd like to take a moment here and get still and ask yourself to picture your dream. I'll bet you have one. If you love Les Brown the way I do, then you have a vision. You have a desire. You have a want. You have a place that you would love to be. You are not satisfied with today. You want a better tomorrow. So picture that right now. What is that better tomorrow? And if you have that vision, you're going to play a little hokey pokey here. Put your right hand in. Put your right hand in. Now, some people watching this on the bus, maybe. There's other people around and they're looking at their phone. They put their right hand in. Yes, you may look a little silly in this moment in time. All right. But if you want above normal results, sometimes you got to act abnormal. So put your right hand in, my friend. Put it in there. Give it a little shake. Shake it all about. Okay. Perfect. Pull it out. All right. Those are my dreamers. We got my dreamers. Now, take a look back on your life. I'm going to ask you to look back. Have you accomplished some things? Have you done some things? Have you made some incredible results in your life? Have you already done some wonderful things? If you look back on some of those crowning achievements, if you have, put your left hand in. There you go. Don't be shy. Shake it all about. There we go. Perfect. All right. Those are my doers. All right. So dreamers, right hand in. Perfect. Doers, left hand in. Excellent. There we go. We got him. And guess what? Here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Your present self, your future self. Shake your hand. There we go. Shake your hand, my friend. Shake your hand. See, we are what? Just a few minutes in and we've already met somebody amazing, right? You've already met somebody amazing. Perhaps your best friend. This is speedy networking, let me tell you. Now, before we move forward, we have to agree on a little something. I'm willing to give you my best. I'm willing to give you everything I got in these few minutes that we have together, but I need you to commit one thing for me, okay? Be open. Be open to the possibility of what we're going to talk about today, because what I'm going to share with you today may not be the first time you've heard some of these ideas. As Jake, who started us off this morning, very first thing said, what's common knowledge is not always common practice. In other words, you might have heard some of these ideas before. You might have heard some of these things. If you haven't, fantastic, awesome. But perhaps this is the first time, or perhaps this isn't the first time. But perhaps the way I say it, perhaps the way you are today, perhaps that recipe together changes things for you, changes the way this works for you. So can we agree on being open today, being open to the possibility? If that's true, put BAMO in the chat box, BAMMO in the chat box. I'm not sure, I can't see the chat box, so I'm just hoping that people are putting BAMOs in the chat box. And BAMO, by the way, for anybody who's going, why are we typing BAMO? I have a 2.5-year-old son. He is the absolute apple of my eye. He's an incredible little guy. And about 6 months ago, we started doing floor puzzles, right? So the big floor puzzles on the floor. And when he'd get a piece right, we'd go, bam, we do the little fist pump. And that quickly turned into BAMO every time we do it. So when I'm speaking from stage, when I'm working with a group, when I'm teaching, coaching, or anything like that, I always use BAMO because it's fun. And frankly, it makes me think of him, which I love to do. So BAMO is what I use to stride things forward. Now, as I'd mentioned before, everybody, it was about 5 years ago that I hit a pretty low spot in my life. And as I'd mentioned, Les Brown and some others pulled me through there. But I don't know about you guys, but I've hit some lows, but this was a real epic low for me. See, I'd been working in the business that my mom and I own together. As Devon was saying, I'm an entrepreneur and it's not always easy. And I'd been working 60, 70 hours a week, just working my tail off. I had not taken a vacation. And I got some sobering news back from our accountant. And it was a Thursday in February of 2016. And if anybody knows the West Coast on Vancouver, where I'm from, in February, she'd be raining. She'd be raining hard. They call it the West or the Wet Coast for a reason. Anyway, I will never forget that moment when I'm sitting in my office and the rain is just pounding against the window and I'm reading over the financial picture of this company that I'd been slaving away for years. And I realized that we weren't anywhere close to what I wanted it to be or where we wanted to be. And you ever have one of those moments where you're just wrung out? Like you're just empty. You're like one of those sponges, like you're washing your car and you're wring that sucker. Like I was just empty and I was so tired. And my mom's sitting across from me. She was in the office I'm in right now, actually, sitting across from me. And she looks at me and I look up from the paperwork and I have to be honest, there were tears coming down my face because I was so tired, you know? And she looks at me and she goes, well, Michael, what's wrong? And I showed her the information. And she looks up at me and she says, Michael, I believe we can find a way. Power of moms, right? And those words, I believe we can find a way. Man, they changed everything for me. Almost, it wasn't in an instant, but it was like a snap to attention. And a few months after that, I was in a seminar, not unlike this one, in a live seminar. And I saw this picture. I saw this image from one of the speakers. It was of this man. He's coming up out of a piece of rock. Maybe you've seen this before, but he's coming up out of a piece of rock. And he's got a chisel in one hand. He's got a chisel in one hand, a hammer in the other. And he's carving his own thigh out of the rock, right? This statue is carving his own thigh. And I thought, that's it. That is it. That's what I needed, because it dawned on me. I had to change my belief. I had to change the fact that I had to realize we are both the sculptor and the clay in our lives. We are building ourselves as a masterpiece. Now, because you're here and you played a little hokey pokey with me, I know something about you. You are a brilliant, beautiful, talented, incredible person, aren't you? But you're not done yet, are you? You're not done yet, are you? Are you done? Are you finished? Is this all there is? Is this all you can give? You have dreams, don't you? You have desires, don't you? See, Mark Twain said it best. He said the two greatest moments in our lives are the day that we're born and the day that we find out why. Because you are not some genetic accident. You have arrived for a purpose, with a purpose, and now it's time to get on purpose. You have a dream, and now is the time. See, because there is someone out there right now. There is someone out there right now with the words inspired by, and they're waiting to put your name right after it. They are waiting for your name, for you to step into your absolute best self, like Les Brown has shown us the way. And as Marianne Williamson said, the world is not served by you playing small. So now is the time. If you're ready to become the sculptor and the clay, if you are ready to start forging your future, put BAMO in that chat box, my friends. Put BAMO in that chat box. Now you may be saying to yourself, okay, I'm ready for this, but how do I do it? How do I become the sculptor in the clay? Well, I'm going to give that to you today. I'm going to give that to you. I have 3 principles that have given me the path, and they've given me the permission to go from that struggling man 5 years ago who was ready to give up on all their dreams, who was haunted by their poor decisions of the past, to the man who's here today with you right now in this moment. And I am fulfilling one of those dreams. Mr. Brown, you gave me the chance to fulfill the dream, to speak on the legendary stage with you, my friend. And so that is one of those dreams. But before I started practicing these 3 principles, I had to do something important. I had to admit that I was letting my insecurities dictate my possibilities. I had to admit that I was letting my responsibilities dictate my possibilities. I had to admit that I was letting yesterday dictate my today, and I had to shift those beliefs. See, the great entrepreneur Henry Ford said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Our beliefs dictate everything, don't they? They can fuel us or they can fracture us. They can either help us forge our destiny or they can keep us mired in mediocrity. Our beliefs are the bedrock. And in order to get different results, we have to change our belief system, don't we? You have to carve those new beliefs into existence, because you are both the sculptor in the clay. And that's what turned my life around, my friends. Because I opened up to the belief that I'm both the sculptor and the clay. Now, principle number 1, be the clay. Write that down. Be the clay. You are moldable, my friend. You are adaptable. You don't have to stay stuck the way you are. 5 years ago, I was stuck. I believed only certain things were possible. And now a whole new world has opened up for me. And you can do the same, but you have to shift those beliefs. You have to believe that you are changeable. You are adaptable. And I mean, this is the definition of an unprecedented time, isn't it? This pandemic is the definition of that. And during this period, you have an option. You can stay stuck in your previous life, or you can use this stillness, use this peace to stride forward into the new version of you. I mean, look at Les Brown. He's gone from going to stage to stage to stage all over the place to doing this now, power of voice, and inspiring a new world of speakers. Because we are adaptable. And if you don't think you can change in an instant, I want to tell you, when my son was put on my chest, the first 38 years of my life, I was a different person than the last 3. Let me tell you, that was a moment in time that I will never forget. So principle number 1 is be the clay. And in order to do that, you have to let go of your past, my friends. You have to let go of your past. The great Stephen Covey said, we are not a product of our circumstances. We are a product of our choices. So make the choice today to be moldable and to let go of your previous you. Principle number 2, be the sculptor. In other words, be the artist and the masterpiece. See, everything is created twice in life. First in the mind, then in the world. Everything is created twice in our imagination, and then we bring it into creation. So you've got to be the masterpiece and the master creator. As Les would say, you are a masterpiece because you are a piece of the master. And how do you do that? Well, you got to rub up against your greatness, my friends. You got to rub up against your greatness every single day. The great Einstein said, the thinking that brought us these problems will not be the thinking that solves it. And as Jim Rohn put it, do not ask for smaller problems, ask for greater skill. Do not ask for smaller challenges, ask for more wisdom. Or as I love to say, the thinking that got you to where you are today and these practices will not be the thinking and the practices that bring you to where you want to be tomorrow. You have got to create it, and you've got to rub up against it every single day, my friends. Rub up against it every day. Chisel that beautiful masterpiece of yourself out. And the third principle is you have to stand the test of time. Stand the test of time. You've got to be disciplined. You've got to be resilient. You've got to be courageous. I have to admit, I have a secret crush. My wife is probably watching this right now, so I'm sorry, honey. I've got a secret crush. Her name is Maya Angelou. I love that woman. She's amazing. And her quote on courage, it shaped my life. She said, courage is the most important of all virtues, because without courage, you cannot practice any virtue consistently. And that's what I'm getting at, my friends. You've got to be the punch me clown in life. When things come at you, you got to go, you got to come back at it. You've got to be resilient. You've got to face those fears and those challenges, because they're going to happen, aren't they? You are going to face those things. I call it the itty bitty whiny committee. There's these people in my head sometimes, and they're echoing around. I mean, there's a lot of space up here. Let's be honest. There's a lot of space up here, so they can echo a lot. And they're telling me, oh, that's a great idea, Michael, but you can't do it. Oh, what a great idea, Michael. How are you going to get that done? Do you have an itty bitty whiny committee? I know I do. And they go off and they go off, and I have to move through them. And how do I do that to stand that test of time? I listen to my heart, my friends. That's how you do it. You listen to your heart. Your voice is loud. Your mind is loud. Your heart is down here. Those things are much closer to your ears than your heart is. So you got to listen carefully, because your heart whispers the truth. It whispers your inspiration. It whispers what it is that you're supposed to do. As the great Canadian author said, Guy Gabriel Kay, he said, there are no wrong paths in life, just ones we did not yet know we were supposed to walk. We got to listen. So right now, right here in this moment, you and I together, us here on Les Brown's Facebook page with the great Devon hosting us and all the other amazing speakers, my friend, you are supposed to be here in this spot, in time, right now. This is your time. This is my time. This is our time. We've got to use this space in our lives, this peace, this pandemic that's paused the rat race for us, to reforge our future. Because you and I, we are both the sculptor and the clay in our lives, my friend. So use today, use this moment as a launching point to rewrite your history, to reforge that future. Be the sculptor and the clay. As the great Sir Isaac Newton said, if I accomplish anything in life, it is because I stand on the shoulders of giants. And ladies and gentlemen, there have been giants that have come before us, haven't there? We've got the legendary Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, Maya Angelou, Jim Rohn, Bob Proctor. We stand on the shoulders of giants. Greatness has come before us, and greatness will come after us. Devon is here. I can see him. He's telling me to move my butt. But if there is anything we promise to people, it's to our children, that we leave the world a better place than how we found it, yes? So greatness will come after us, but it's time, my friends, and you and I, Devon, to have greatness come through us, isn't it? We have to stop shrinking down our dreams to fit into the narrow minds of others. We have to start letting greatness come through us. So as I like to say to my coaching clients when they get nervous or if they get scared, they say, Michael, what if I fall? I say, yeah, but Devon, what if you fly?
Michael, I gotta say a couple of things. Number one, you just spent about 2 minutes ago, you started telling people you are supposed to be here. Brother, you are supposed to be here.
Thank you, my man.
I have had the pleasure. I have emceed events around the world for the past 13, 14 years, and you, brother, are a natural. And the thing that I absolutely love the most about what you shared with us was that the core of what you shared was this simple idea that the simple idea that I am both the sculpture and the clay in my own life. And that is one of those simple ideas that causes light bulbs to go off and causes massive shifts. They say small hinges swing big doors. That's one of those small hinge ideas that swing huge doors and cause huge, massive shifts. So thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Devon. Thank you, man.
Oh, brother, amazing. You're a natural. I love listening to you.
Oh, thanks, buddy. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy today.
Thanks. Give Michael some likes and some hearts, everyone.